King Calvus IV, Commodore Kai of the Grand Navy. Titans of power, champions of unimaginable might. The two strongest bosses of Arcane Odyssey whose presence alone is enough to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who dares to stand as their enemy. These two legendary figures within the Bronze Sea are the physical embodiment of sheer annoyance if your goal is to kill them for items. But which one is stronger? Which boss stands at the summit of might, the Bronze Sea's strongest human? And in this video I'm going to attempt to answer this question once and for all. What consumes the thoughts of a king? In Calvus's case, all he ever wanted in life was to be strong and revered as a wise king who loved his kingdom. Born in the Ravenna royal family as the first son of King Octavius Caesar, everyone had high expectations for him. However, as a result of his father's untimely passing, the throne was thrust upon him at a young age. With the painfully high expectations of the people of Ravenna had of him and the politicians eyeing Kelvis seeking opportunities to manipulate a young naive king such as him, Kelvis had to act fast before it was too late. Without many people to guide him, he searched everywhere he could for ways to gain strength while maintaining his influence, eventually falling into the clutches of the Order of Aesir. After being taken in by the Order, Calvus learnt Aether Magic, the Iron Leg fighting style, as well as an incredibly high weapon level. He also has a grand total of 4,500 HP. In battle, he has a total of 8 skills he uses, although most of them aren't exactly the same as what a player would be able to use. But the wiki has analysed all of his skills and gave them appropriate names just to make referring to them easier, even if the names are slightly wrong. Calvus's level is at least 345 since we know his weapon level is at least 230 because he uses the Impaling Strike skill with the Triasta of Bronze. If we take the low end of the estimation, divide his weapon level by 2 to get his level's worth of points he's invested into weapons, which would be 115, and multiply this by 3 to get an even savant distribution of stats. Though if I'm completely honest here, VTech seriously nerfed the AI on Calvus because who in their right mind in PvP would fully charge a blast and let your opponent hit them multiple times in the process? However, I'm not angry at all about this though, because he would have had to have done this for the storyline purposes, as it would have been completely impossible to kill King Calvus even with the average pirate AI. Not to mention the configuration he has on the pillar attacks that prevent him from moving for at least 5 seconds afterwards, as well as the strangely low amount of damage he deals with attacks in general for at least being over level 345. Now that's pretty much all there is to King Calvus, so let's move on to Commodore Kai. Currently, Commodore Kai doesn't really have any lore apart from the strange thing he says after he's killed, which could indicate something down the line in the story. Now, Kai is honestly quite easy to analyse as his movesets consist of only 2 skills and 1 move. Kai is a level 300 warrior that only uses his saber with flying slash and sword draw as well as M1s, and so after everything I've said above you might think that King Calvus should win this battle, and unfortunately this is where you're wrong. See, thing is, Kai's AI is not limited and his damage is fully accurate to his level. He does 426 damage per flying slash and 340 per sword draw, not to mention his M1s do over 100 damage each. His skill cooldown time is also almost twice as fast as a player would with a warrior, as his skills have a 3-second cooldown each. Not to mention he has 3000 HP to top it off and literally perfect aimbot that works on moving targets because its AI calculates where a target would be by using the rate at which the target is travelling at. Now firstly we have to talk about a few variables that would affect the outcome of this battle. Number 1 is that grabs don't work on bosses, so King Calvus's Impaling Strike skill with his Triasta would be completely useless. Number 2 is that knockback does not work on bosses, so Calvus's strength moves such as Smash and other ones will not knock back or affect Kai anyway, other than taking damage. In a battle between these two, Calvus certainly has the mobility advantage as he's able to dash around a lot. However, the problem with Calvus's mobility is that it is almost completely useless if you aren't able to attack quickly. Calvus's blast move takes at least 5 seconds to fire, and in this time frame Commodore Kai would easily be able to do 1 to 2 flying sword slashes and 1 sword draw, amounting to 766 damage, while Calvus's blast does a measly 150. So Kai would easily win this exchange of skills. But what about Calvus's pillar attack, you may ask? Well, this simply does not work at all either in Calvus's favour, because Commodore Kai's cooldowns are so fast, being 3 seconds each, that Calvus would just instantly be met with a flying slash, cancelling his charge and dealing at most about 100 damage to Kai 3 times over, amounting to 300 damage. Kai still easily wins this exchange though because of the recoil that the pillar attack has. Kai would easily sword draw plus flying slash Calvus again, and maybe another flying slash, dealing at a minimum of 766 damage again in this exchange. And like I said earlier, Calvus's grab skill with the Triasta wouldn't even work to begin with because they are both useless and grab skills don't work on bosses. And like I said earlier, again, none of Calvus's strength moves will have any knockback effect on Kai, allowing him to just M1 spam Calvus while he's trying to throw daggers at you. And in the second stage, it is even worse for Calvus, since his pillar attack in the second stage has a much longer cooldown of roughly 8 seconds, which would again easily allow Kai to in fact do 2 flying slashes and a sword draw, dealing 1192 damage almost instantly. The only exchanges I can see Calvus even winning is by using long range beams after dashing around being outside of Kai's flying slash reach. However, his beams do a measly amount of damage, and Kai's excessive damage in exchanges in all scenarios would easily make up for this. So yes, I don't really see any way King Calvus would win in game right now, as Kai literally wins the damage output of every single exchange of blows by at least twice the amount. Not to mention, even though that Calvus has 4500 HP, Kai still has 3000 HP himself as well, and a 2 times damage output in all exchanges coupled with not even that much less HP makes this an almost impossible fight to Calvus to win, sort of. You see, the only reason why Kai would actually win is because Calvus's AI is hella nerfed to make him beatable for storyline purposes. If Calvus had the same level of AI as Commodore Kai, he would fire his blasts twice the speed, dealing way more than only 150 each, and he would configure the rest of his AoE skills so that the recoil isn't devastatingly horrible. So in conclusion, King Calvus as a build and level and just an entity is almost stronger than Kai in almost every single way, but his horrifically stupid AI would be the sole reason why he'd lose against Kai, I'd say 95% of the time. So here's how it would go. In game, Kai wins medium to high difficulty. In lore, Calvus wins medium to high difficulty, and in terms of brain power, Kai wins extremely easily. So yeah, that's it for today's video. A little bit different of a video from usual, but I'm just trying new stuff out. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not leave a like and hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. And yeah, I think that's all for today, and I'll see you all later.